guys, this is Coffeeyay for HUSNG.com. So today I'm just continuing my series, Math and Heads Up Sit and Goes. This is part 3. So just a quick review of what happened in the first two parts. Our goal is maximizing the total equity at every decision. And the total equity is the sum of fold equity and pot equity. And so in the part 1, we solved the case where our villain is all in, and so we're only dealing with pot equity terms. And the equation was of the form total equity equals two times the stacks times the equity minus the stacks minus C, where C is just our sunk cost. For instance, in the case where we were min raising, we did have to subtract our original min raise to decide if we wanted to call the 3-bet shove. Or in the case that we were calling an open shove, we needed to subtract our big blind. We also solved the case where we examined pure fold equity of a bluff. And this was an equation of the form total equity equals F times P minus 1 minus F times the betting, or the bet. And so we showed ways to derive ranges and find some fold equities using different software. I mentioned Flopzilla, I talked about Pro Poker Tools, Equilab, that kind of stuff. So today what we're going to start doing is combining the two terms, pot equity and fold equity. And so again, we're going to start dealing with a case where it's easier. And so we're going to deal with a case where we shove all in. And that's going to be a case where the pot equity term will be particularly simple. Just like in the case where we're calling all-ins. Just because we won't have to deal with later street action. We just deal with the current street. And so this means that, though, that we'll have both a fold equity term, which is still F times P, just the fold percent times the pot size. But we'll also have to deal with the pot equity term, and we'll have to deal with it not being just an investment. So the pot equity for a jam is just going to be 1 minus F. That's the percent of the time that we're not taking down the pot with fold equity. So those are the times where we have to deal with pot equity. And then just times 2 times the stacks times our equity minus our investment. You notice that that's the same pot equity term. The second part is the same term as we used in part 1 of the videos when we were just dealing with calling shoves. The only difference here is that there we were saying that we had no fold equity. So of course the first term 1 minus F was just 1, so I just didn't have it. But here we do need to deal with the fact that some percent of the time we will be folding out villain's range and not have to be all in versus. So then, so those are the different terms. And notice that I say I is our